Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. After that wonderful session of music, here is some more food for thought. This particular session is aptly titled The Future Talk, Breaking Monopolies in E-Commerce. It sounds a little esoteric and tough, but today we have someone who can decipher it for us. Over the next 30 minutes, we will take a peek into the future of e-commerce as we see it today. To talk about that, we have Mr. Thampi Koshy, MD and CEO of the Open Network for Digital Commerce, or ONDC. ONDC promises to democratize e-commerce and help India's smallest of merchants reap the benefits of digital commerce in a seamless way, which they currently cannot do with the dominance of large global marketplaces. Buyers, sellers, and logistics players who comprise the ONDC network will get benefits of reach and scale in an equitable and democratic way. In a lot many ways, the ONDC is being described as the UPI moment in e-commerce. So, Mr. Koshy, coming to you, could you tell us in simple terms what ONDC would do to disrupt the e-commerce marketplace? What does it hold for the common man, the man on the street, the people like any one of us? And why is it called everyone's e-commerce?
Thank you. I'm sure after wonderful performance of music, this is going to be a very boring topic. But let's try to make it somewhat relevant to this larger crowd here. In a way, open network digital commerce is a first of its kind experiment in the world. For the past 15 years, 20 years, we are all used to looking at platforms when we talk about e-commerce, and we believe that's the only way to do internet. But actually, in a way, if you look at what we are doing, is that what internet started as? A very democratic place. If I try to relate to the world that we knew, see, internet started with information exchange. If you want to have a website called arun.com, you can just make it so long as you can make an HTML page. You don't have to go around and say, let me just go and register with Chrome because they have more users, or to Edge because it's from Microsoft. Nothing. You just say, I'll make a page. Similarly, IndiaToday.com also does the same thing. What drives the market is what is relevant. Whom is it relevant to? So the success is based on the relevance, the reach based on who is interested in it, how interesting you can make it. But when it comes to e-commerce, we just left that original idea. He said it's private gardens. If you are a seller in platform A, you are visible only in the buyers in platform A. If you are a seller in platform B, you are only visible in platform B. What it means that the economists would say the network effect will lead to humongous concentration, where the commerce is driven and determined by few large intermediaries in the beginning, with very limited hold for the seller. Even the big sellers are finding it difficult because in the physical world they can decide the terms, their advertisement, their schemes, but in the digital world they can't. In the physical world they have the access to information. In the digital world they really don't have. It's all controlled and monetized by a few intermediaries. Which would also mean that they are maximizing their interest and they're looking at certain segment of the society. We will say e-commerce. I'm sure that all of us sitting here are very heavy users of e-commerce. But the penetration only 5 to 6%. In the buying side, selling side, maybe 2%. That means the few platform holders, naturally, if I'm there, I'll do the same thing. It's trying to see where there is big potential for maximizing the shareholders' interest. So what ONDC does is take away this walled garden and make it an open garden. Every seller will have the equal opportunity to present his case. It's not socialism. Everybody will not get equal market share. Everybody. And he can be present in only any platform he likes. He is visible to 1 billion customers. And for the buying, for people like us, from the same platform you can get food, you can get consumer goods, you can get tickets, you can hail a taxi, convenience. Second thing is it's also give you very competitive options, whether you are from the elite or from the common. So this is like a big picture I can tell you.
Okay. So, I mean, as consumers, we are all used to different platforms. You know, you either shop from Amazon or you order food on a Zomato. So this is going to be a network which has got different platforms hosted on that particular network. And you were saying that this could scale up to such a big scale. I think right now you have around 65,000 sellers on your network. Now we are in Kerala, where the Kudumbashree experiment has been really successful. Now Kudumbashree is now getting onto the ONDC network. Maybe to make things simpler, if you could tell us, how does Kudumbashree benefit from this? What is the opportunity you are sort of giving Kudumbashree?
One thing, as you said, you have to understand it's a very early stage, like UPI 6 years ago. So nothing happens like abracadabra. It takes some time. But what is a long ambition is that eventually every product or service which is relevant to a broad cross-section of the buyers will make their product visible on the network, not a platform. There's no super app, there's no super platform. Make themselves visible using the ONDC protocol.
Is it based on a fee? Is it
like I said, each of them may have their own cost. Some like for example, today there are only few people who determine the cost. For example, some smart entrepreneur from Kerala may say that I am going to create for the Kirana stores, for Petikadas of Kerala, one application. Then it only costs that much. So that's the thing. Everybody will have equal opportunity and everybody will determine their possibilities based on what is their aspiration. For example, Kudumbashree, when they become a part of the network, you asked me the question. Suddenly, they can be visible to the whole 1 billion consumers from any buying application. From sitting in Delhi or in Bombay, you can use Paytm, you can use PhonePe, you can use Kotak Bank, you can use My Store. There will be umpteen of them. And Kudumbashree do not have to go and register each of them. Today, if Kudumbashree wants to be in Amazon and Flipkart, I'm using all names only for reference, they have to independently register for each of them. And it's a cost. Today, they are registered in one of the selling applications from Kerala, and now they're visible to everybody in India. And today, it is picking up its popularity, and probably in a couple of years, it's like a UPI, you know what happened. In a couple of TMs, that will be the only primary way in which the whole digital commerce could run.
So we always tend to talk about the similarities between something like UPI and ONDC. We know how UPI has really made payments a lot more easier. I mean, the moment you had people like Google Pay and Paytm and others come on board, how it has made the payment system a lot more easier. At the same time, when it comes to ONDC, you are actually telling that you are democratizing it, but by removing any kind of monopolistic behavior on the part of any other, how does this really work? I mean, since you have also worked on projects, before, on Aadhaar you have worked with the National Depository. How does the technology, behind this work and enable this to happen?
Okay, let's look at something that we're very familiar. Again, web pages and so. I'm sure that all of you, when log into a web page, you'll see HTTP. It's a protocol, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. It helps you to create a page using this protocol. Some of people here sitting, it's so simple that anybody can make it. That is on information sharing. So if I simply say, to make it very, very simplistic, ONDC protocol is HTTP for commerce. In HTTP, you only need to share information in the normal. Here you need to, first, somebody need to publish their catalog. All of them need to publish their catalog. They use this protocol to publish their catalog. In any one application, like you say that any web hosting Similarly, any one seller application or by themselves. Now the buyers can come and discover them. Any buyer, and now there will be many, many different buying applications. Paytm, PhonePe, HDFC Bank, or any of them can become a buying application and come a visibility for their buyers for the possibilities available. They don't have to go and list any products. If I just give you an interesting example, let's for example, you can see that I'm a Malayali, I'm settled in Delhi. Let's say one smart Malayali fellow says that I'm going to create a buying application for all the non-resident Malayalis. Because today, if I go to any of this big platform, they try to shape me. They say, Koshy, it is good that you should wear Louis Philippe shirt all the time. It's cool. Or Lacoste t-shirt all the time. Why? It makes sense for them to have few large brands who will give them the large advertising money. Whereas this smart young startup, he says that my ambition is maybe 100,000 Malayalis in outside Kerala, in India. He will help me to express my wishes in Malayalam. I can type it in Malayalam. I can use the Malayali words that is there. He needs to convert them. He doesn't have to go and list any sellers at all. He can, when I express, and he has no loyalty to any sellers. In Onam, he'll say, Koshy, wear a vesti, not Lacoste. And I can help you to buy that vesti from Karol Bagh in Delhi, without even having to go and list them. So that is the beauty and power of this, providing immense possibilities for innovation and specialization. Whether you're big or you're small, you have equal opportunity to succeed based on your merits, not on the VC money that is get thrown on your behalf. And that is the opportunity that an open network will throw open. And I'll just tell you, this problem of market concentration and associated bad practices is not just in India. It's a global problem. The Americans are trying to address this through regulation. In fact, there's something called America Innovation and Choice Online Act, which President Biden was trying to get it passed, but about $150 million of lobby money made sure that doesn't happen. The Europeans are trying to do something called Digital Market Access Act. They are using that to again address this challenge of gatekeepers coming out of concentration and their practices. China said, forget about it, I'll just take control. I'll take control and tell them what to do. India took a different view. We said we are going to use technology and markets with enabling policies, which is a more democratic way of giving everybody the opportunity and a higher potential for faster success. Okay. And that is a big difference.
Okay. So you're also saying that, Kerala is, like most parts of the country, is also known for startups. And we were just talking backdoor and, you have mentioned how this is a hotbed of entrepreneurs. So those genuine entrepreneurs who wish to come on board, they can do this at a very low cost.
Yes, absolutely.
Place their catalogs, get buyers, and be part of a larger ecosystem without that huge, money trail that, comes with the VC funding, etc., etc. So that is why you call it the democratizing. But sir, doesn't it also bring out a huge responsibility on the part of, those people who are offering this? For instance, if I buy something on Amazon and it doesn't work, I can right away reject it. The whole thing works in a very well-oiled fashion. How do you, that's a natural doubt that comes up.
I know.
How do you manage it?
I tell you something, this is the question that I get asked everywhere. That is because we have been so brainwashed that the only way to offer digital commerce is a completely integrated end-to-end approach. Let me ask you two questions. Have you seen any business in the world which is not unbundled? They all stitch together using standards. Maruti that doesn't make their tires. Airtel does not own their towers. In fact, originally they all started by their own towers. In fact, Virgin Mobile came and said, I don't need any infrastructure. I need only a CRM and I need only a billing software. It's the standards that stitch them together. And even in commerce, we have stitched together so much. When Bata shoes make the distribution available all across the shop, it is not that they are controlling all the shoes, all the shops. Then you'll say, oh, physically I can handle. One of the oldest business in the world, in the commerce, is catalog marketing. Except that they are not showing it to you on a web page, they were giving you a catalog at home, which is even more painful. It was also unbundled. It works seamlessly, beautifully, billions of dollars. And the same thing will happen here. As far as the end consumer is concerned, it will not. You will have many more small enterprises. You know, the platforms holding. Let me also ask you another thing. You had been in this business for a long time. Ask any banker, who has the NPS most? Big business or small business? Because for the big business, if you have NPS, they have suited wood or variety like us to go to the court and push the case for 20 years. For a small business, it's not. He is just dead. Similarly, when you have many small, for example, Kudumbashree will take their pride in showing that they have very few rejects. And if they reject, we will take care. Because if they get a reputation, the network has a reputation, it's not a flea market. If they screw up their reputation, they are dead. Nobody in India will then touch them. They will take extra care. That woman will take extra care to make sure that he treats his customer well, because she is a small entrepreneur. If she derives a bad reputation for Kudumbashree, everybody else will kick them out. That is why I will say this is a self-correcting model. And unless we are able to appreciate and have faith in it, we will never be able to experiment. This is nothing, in that sense, there's nothing rocket science about it, except the technology is, the protocol is there. But we have done this whole time in this work. And that is the reason democratization is very critical. That's why the Americans and the Europeans, everybody is trying, because of this concentration, it is against the interest of the economy, it's against the small and micro enterprises, it's against the interest of the consumers. That's why they are trying to create regulations. They are not stupid.
Right. So it is incumbent on the particular sellers on the network to make sure that the quality is ensured, and depending on their agility, they would be able to reimburse or replace the products. Maybe there are some people who say that I can't do that, Or
then it goes to a grievance.
Yeah.
Then it goes to an online dispute resolution mechanism. To be very clear, let's also understand how the current platforms handle, without any names. They are not paying from their pocket. Let's be very clear. What they do is, if I am a seller registering to a large platform, they'll ask me to write a contract which says that they determine how the consumer is to be treated. I have no say. Then they will tell the buyer, Koshy, if you want to reject in 30 days, you are free to do. Because so long as they have a large pool of very loyal customers, they become a monopsony, what the economists call one buyer, many sellers. They have the squeezing power on the sellers. So that's why they make a lot, in the early stages, they make a lot of irresponsible buying behaviors. If somebody thinks that is the way to succeed, even ONDC, you can do that. I'll tell you how. Let's think about a buying platform of an elite bank. They will say that they have all these unreasonable people like us, who wants their own way. When they make, let's say I am one of them. When Koshy goes to say, and I want a shirt or I want a mobile phone, he will broadcast to the network using the protocol. I have a consumer who will say that if he just doesn't like, he'll just send it back to you. So when the broadcast comes to all the sellers, there's no compulsion for anybody to accept, unless in a current platform, it is done. But here some sellers will say, that elite bank, that means the guy is rich, I am going to charge 50% extra. Like you go to a 5-star hotel, they'll charge you 500 rupees for a tea. If you don't do like this, they'll give you a tea. And then it will happen. And small people say, I don't want. Whereas some other place, I am running a discount store. No replacement. So what it says is, this gives you the opportunity for every kind of sellers to access their terms of trade to attract their kinds of customers, not just 5-star. You will have 5-star, 3 stars, 2-star, 1-star. But it is not a flea market. It's a disciplined market with rules and regulation continuously tracked and monitored using the technology to make sure that the consumers are not treated badly and the sellers are not treated badly.
Wonderful. I think you have explained very lucidly what this new concept is. Going forward, we are going to hear more and more about this, this network from the media and from various other sources. So thank you so much, Mr. Koshy. We have just run out of time, and thanks the audience for the patient listening.